All right, let's see. Hey, good morning, man. Welcome back, sir. How are you? Good morning, Jim. What's up? Oh. Pretty large gap down, so I'll probably have to redo the walls in a bit. I think they're gonna be pretty valid. For the gap down. We're pretty weak here. They can't even get above 50s. Might come down to 20s, 30s, at least 30s. That's where we were at before. What was that, Tuesday night? Or the other night? What was it, Wednesday night? That's probably likely. Testing that pre-market low, 531. Because yesterday we open tested 41 and then ramped. Right now we're testing 41 a couple times. Looks like it might break down. By Malta, I agree. It's NFP, so they can run this all the way down to 520s and then close it somehow back at the 40s, but run it into it could be a very wild session. NFPs can be pretty volatile both ways. They can do a bunch of movement intraday and then just close it flat. It's pretty common. It's just wild. Yesterday they squeezed up and then gapped it down right as soon as we closed. Gapped it all the way down below 70 into the overnight, dude. It's pretty wild if you think about it. Like what? How many times have we gapped down? 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions of gapping down. That's insane. Kind of chase the short here. It looks like a breakdown. You know, we're holding below PDL. Looks like a normal breakdown right here. We tested it, failed to get above it. We had a little retracement and then failed. Below prior day low. The Val area. Yeah, and it's below the open, and we haven't had a if you also look at the opening price and also how price is just like holding below the open, it bounced, rejected, consolidated below the open. We haven't had that in a while. Every time we open, we hold above it, the open. We get supported off the open. First time in a while we haven't actually held the open. We'll see. The only I spend my whole day finding opportunity to prop firm that does not require financial background, but I failed. What do you mean? Doesn't require financial background? I really want to take a look of how the desk traders are doing. Oh, okay. I think SMB Capital, you know, I don't know if there's like anything if you know about them. I mean, there's videos, but I don't know if you can see how they're doing specifically, but let's see. Yeah, maybe with Axia, that's another one. Read some stuff. Did you study with EdgeClear? What's EdgeClear? Want to target small local firms? Yeah, that makes sense. Like boutique firms. What's up, Vladimir? What's going on, man? Um, EdgeClear. What's that? I think I've heard that before. It sounds familiar, but I have not studied with EdgeClear. That's a broker, of course. It's a brokerage firm. No, I didn't. What does EdgeClear have? Do they have some material? They're a brokerage firm. I didn't know that they had material to study. You're out of the trade. Well, it was a nice continuation. It broke down about what, 20 points or 15, let's just say, from the 40s. I didn't really count, but not bad. Similar to the upside. Yeah, if it does, that'd be a marvelous continuation. Also see a negative gamma exposure. This is why it's probably pushing in one direction, yeah. Here's the value low for the week, or the prior week. We're almost there, about like 10 points away. This should be a good spot to see what the, if there are any bids, what they're going to do here with those bids. It's the first 15 minutes and they've already pretty much pushed this pretty strong off the open. This is definitely looking like a continuation. So I found using footprint chart absorption is better for me, more objective. That's good. You can add, I mean, you know, to the footprint chart, you can also add the delta, a cumulative delta for whatever footprint that is in that moment. That helps too. Super recommend. What's the time frame you're using? Is like a Renko footprint, a regular 15, 10-minute footprint? Three-point range, nice. There's a primary low here. Just a spot delta search, yeah, but in the opposite direction. That makes sense. Find aggressors. That makes total, especially because it's a smaller range. It's easier to spot it instead of using like a higher time frame. I think I used to have a 15-minute one, which is maybe too large to spot that momentum change. So it's not a bad idea. You got some bids showing up here, right below the current low. This is the area they should be wanting to buy, right? This is the value low from massive support, in other words. Right here. We'll see. I want to see it probe more before I initiate anything. If this ramps here, you know, I don't get an entry, it's fine. 3-1, 31 is the prior low. I'd probably just wait for the IB failed breakdown later in the session if they revisit. So far the open is like an open drive. Pretty much just did a straight break. Similar to this day over here. This day. Where we had to take the short at the prior day low as a continuation. There's a lot of selling there, you can see it now. I'm looking for a failed breakdown. Yesterday, wait, what's YDL? I'm sorry, I'm not very good at the acronyms. Try it along here. It's a good spot. It's in a volume. It's a structurally a good area. I'm gonna wait, but I do like this area for a long. Put some music on. Time is at 7. This is an area where there's a lot of battles, similar to yesterday, in the way that they consolidated very tightly right below the was it 75-70s? Actually, I have it right here on my chart. Let's just put a triangle right here. This could be a similar setup where maybe they do a continuation or they fail. I'm gonna wait for that consolidation here and let the volume accumulate in this area. It's a structurally strong area. So let it accumulate and then put in a probe below that fails and reclaims, something like that. That'd be a failed breakdown. So currently, the very strong directional move down, so it should continue lower. If this is a true impulse move down, I'd like to see that all this volume that's being transacted trade lower and then put in a failed breakdown of this zone. I don't know how much lower they'll probe, but if they probe, say, about 5K, like 500 flat or so, and then come back above, or 507. 507 is a point of control from a prior. You can see it right there on my chart. 507. It's a prior point of control from a another session. What day was it? From May 22nd. If they can probe down, test it, and then reclaim back above, like the 20s, that'd be pretty good for a long. Because the way I see it right now, this is more of a continuation down. I'd like to see this come down, test 507, put in a small failed breakdown, reclaim the 520.21 for a long. Another a 514, another spot for you. I mean, it's a general zone, so I mean anything between like 512 to 507, give or take, is a spot that I let it tap anywhere down below and then reclaim. It doesn't have to be an exact level. It's hard for me to say exactly the level I'd like to see. I just know structurally there's a point of control. That's a reference, but I mean the value high from that same day in May 22nd is 515, right where we're at right now. So 515, 507, anywhere within that proximity. If it gets below like 500s and holds below 500s, I don't really think it's gonna hold up. Because the value low from May 22nd is 495. Let's do a refresh of this. The expected move for the week is 7520, so that was the expected move down. Last week it was 7590. Yeah, 7590 last week. So let's see how it holds up this week with that area. If it rejects, holds above it for the day, or gets past the expected move. Try it, what, like half size for now. Here at the 507. I don't want to see it below 9.5, so we'll put a stop right now, currently at 9.4, and we'll have to see what they do here. But now, I bought a half size position. We'll end up buying more. Yeah, they're squeezing a little bit here. I might add a little bit in a while. Squeeze could happen, yeah. They hit the 507 point of control and they put in a little wick down, so I added a little bit. I want to see a whole 20s and I'm willing to buy some more. Nice right there. It's up 10 right now. Well, it's up almost 10, but we'll see. I want to add ideally more, but we'll see what it does. I need to refresh the calls too. We'll see. Yeah, the put wall is well above there. Not really where I want to see it. Not sure if it's an old first time seeing sell and limit order on 1720. They're there. Yeah. We can squeeze back into the point of control, come back, test the 520 from above and hold. I'll probably add to it, but for now, I'm just kind of treat it as like a rotational bounce back within favor of the downtrend. So for now, this is, to me, I'm treating this more of like a count or just a regular bounce that's testing the prior area. So I'm not going to add right away. I want to see ideally for now is hold, come in, hold like from above this area instead of rejecting it like it is now. And then I'll add more. Would like to see this pop into 528s, then come back and test 520 from above to add more. Alright. Putting some bids right here, just right underneath price. Not sure if it's going to hold it, but we're trying to support price here. Where's time? Is it 7:06? Okay. You don't want to see this hold again below the 495. Any consolidation below that, it's not going to be good, I don't think. It'll probably come to 470s if not, if they don't hold that. 470s the next level down. I mean, ideally we hold this area into the IB. Come and test like something like this. Let me draw it out. The IB low right now is 505, right? Ideally we come in, test somewhere between, somewhere below the prior day low, come in, put on another break of that, and then that failed breakdown of the IB low really sets us up to come back into the open. Something like that would be ideal. Come in, come about yay, like around here, the 30s. And then from there, fade out, come back, take out the IB low, and then put in a failed breakdown of that low. That would be ideal. We'll see if that is what they do or not, but... Or they completely break this down completely below the value low. I'm not sure if there's any news headlines I didn't really see would be good to the upside. Yeah, the 20s, yeah. The 20s are definitely, I mean, this is where they, that's what I want to add. So the 20s is right here, right where this second high put in right now, or this little lower high. If we can hold above it, test the 28s, the point of control, hold, I will add more to that. And kind of scale in favor of the momentum. Just below prior day low, and then kind of gauge what happens at the prior day low. I'm not sure what they'll do at the prior day low. Must break there easily. Yeah, it's got to be fluid through the area. This was it's a big area. The 520s was huge if you look back. I mean, this is where they supported multiple times. It's where volume would dry up a lot of the time. They weren't able to break it from above down. Volume would dry up here. Right now, there's actually activity this time around. Here's 20s. Yeah, so far good reaction, not strong rejection. Again, I want to see it test, take out this high right here. Somewhere about here where this seller first came in. I'll try to scale some profit there and then see if I can get an add at 20s. If it has a good reaction on the lower high. Take it down to 26. It inspired me in the live this week. Only. You really inspired. Oh, thanks, man. I mean, it's nice to you. Yeah, I mean, I like trades that are gonna have significant. You see, there's a seller right there, right at where that area is. Same area where we came from, so I might have to scale if they fill me. Somewhere around here. Okay, they're holding 20 here. Let's see if they I'm gonna move my take profit back up to 28. See if they hold here. I want to see this hold, and I'll add 3 more lots and get into full size. They're at 19. Rejecting the is that the RTH VWAP, I assume? That's not good. Is to do trades in most significant areas. Yeah, I mean, the thing that helps me identify significant areas is I added 3 more lots there. Let's see if it holds or not. Might be a bad ad, but I like the area. The thing that I think what helps me identify like a good area is just having all the levels plotted on my chart. That way I'm not just like entering a trade in a random area. Oh, I wouldn't say not random, but it's not a significant zone. I find that it improves the win rate if you're just trading around structural zones or areas. Not only improves the win rate, but also improves the profit expectancy of a trade, right? The R factor. So it's like it's good if you can identify those areas. For me, it helps having them plotted on my chart. Trading with commit, yeah. So that ad was there at 20s. Yeah, train with conviction for sure. It helps a lot. Like, I mean, even if I'm wrong, I always assume that there's a higher probability that I'll be incorrect than I'll be right, because having a positive expectation for a trade, it really dampens the trading session or the mood for me. So I don't mind being wrong. The point at which it gets pretty bad is when I'm wrong time and time again, like over a series of days, not just a session. Especially because my trade frequency, it's only about like 1 to 3 trades max most times. It's never more than that. That's that. There it is. Yeah, find where the alpha is decaying or there's mental problems. Hard to discern that. Yeah, if you're trading in random locations, because like, how do you quantify where the problem is? Should break here. I'm looking for it. The value low from yesterday was around here from overnight. Looking to see if it can take me at 26s this time. I'll just be less greedy about it. And then ideally we come into somewhere at 30s. 35's fair. 31 was the prior overnight low support from this. Oh, you can't see it. Do I have a full session? Yeah, I do have a full session. Here we go. This full session support, I want to kind of be scaling into this for now. The best scenario would be if we just consolidate here for a little while on this push up. Like, even if it means coming back to the 20s again, I don't really mind that. What I want to see is consolidation in this general area that eventually breaks past the priority low and it just kind of access back within. Well, if that happens, we'll probably come back to this area again, the 67s. That's 541 and eventually break out to revisit the 7562. I think for now the work is done for me. It's just a matter of just letting this trade play through and see what it does. Yesterday 70601. Pretty wild to think about. Like the settlement was 601. I think we ended up closing into the maintenance hour. I think like 590, like 10 points lower. And then once the main ETH session started, we drifted right to the 70s, no problem. Broke down. So I mean, yesterday's move up essentially was a massive short squeeze, and my assumption is. I'm not sure what yesterday was all about. The profile structure from yesterday's session was so poor. It was ugly. It looked like a tweaker's mouth. Like, I mean, I compiled it just because how ugly it was. Like, it looked like they wanted to repair. Let me unmerge it here. Look at this profile structure. This is not... This is an ugly looking profile. It's a very directional profile, but man, does it need some repairing. When you have stuff like this, usually it didn't auction well. You usually get a retest of these areas to really fill in those gaps. And we didn't really do it. I guess it did kind of overnight, but during regular trading hours, it did not. Anyway, I did a composite because I didn't. Yeah, it just was too messy to give him reference. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's stay strong. I'll take some here at 33 to the value high for the current session. What was it? 7.5. Yeah, I did scale already at 28s, and then I was trying to scale here at 33, the value high of the current profile, but I didn't get filled. So yeah, I do scale along the way. I always will scale along the way, and then I will add. So I definitely always scale trades. I don't even no matter the way it trades. You missed that. Yeah, here's the fill. I mean, there's one here at 28. You can kind of see like a little arrow right there. You can see the buys are yellow or blue. So I bid here, scaled here, and I'm looking to scale another one at 32, but I don't think they're gonna give me that fill. I think how Euro going into the next half hour, we need to really hold the 20s. The IB is about to form here or be set for the day. In about 8 minutes. I would assume that if they do form a range, the most bullish outcome would be the range to be anything above this area generally. If they probe below it, that's fine, as long as they wick underneath it. In other words, not form any value below. Almost a short squeeze, but also a huge up for some intermediate short that would be wanting to. Yeah. Yeah, I was confused by yesterday's move after the fact that after they just unwound all of it. I did short last night. You can see I was short here at 84. And I covered. It went lower, but I shorted last night right here. I covered, I added more to the short, I covered, and then I just kind of called it a night. It went a lot lower than that. Is it IB4? No, it's not. Nice to try. Oh, hey, Evage, welcome, dude. I wish it would have been better off like scaling some of it already. At the value high near the 30s, I didn't get to, so I'm still holding half the position. Super quick and back. Thanks, man. It was I mean, once I hit the point of control, I saw a bit of a wick down. Tape kind of shook. It did this weird thing where like there's like the DOM just kind of like that. At a point of control, any structural area, I do always like that. Change your character, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a weekly value area low. So closing below that is definitely a structural change. It implies they probably want to test lower value areas, which the closest one below would be not until the 7440s. So 7440s would be in play if they close and hold below the 520s. And then below that, If they accept below 440s, then the value area lows in question at the 737. 370s, you know. So yeah, I don't disagree. So I have a profile over here, a higher time frame profile. I can't even show it actually. But yeah, it just depends on how the week ends, you know, how we end today. And then come Monday, how we either respect that area or we hold back above it. It's the MES, the micros. What time is it? Got 1 minute. 1 minute to the IB forms. So kind of similar to what I said earlier, like we would come in, right, hold 20s, come back in, and then take out the IBL. Ideally, this is where we put in a failed breakdown of the IB for an ad. We'll see if they do that. We have about a minute before the IB forms here, or before it's set. Oh, I'm long, sir. I'm long from earlier. $7:30. So the IB set here. They try to push up. They're absorbing so far. We'll see. It needs 20s. 20s is the momentum level. 520 holds, it can push up again. I'm not going to add more to this trade. The only instance in which I would like to add is if they do like a really weak probe of the IB low. I'm definitely interested in adding to that if they do like a really weak probe. So the probe would need to be about, I don't know, 5 points or less. Probe underneath, and then I would add on that weak probe, and the volume would have to be really low. So the volume dissipates as we break a new low, in this case the IB low, and we probe like 5 points or so, come back in. I would be willing to add to the trade, and then test the other side of the take profit would be the other side of the auction, which in this case for now it seems to be the 30s, the 531 32 area. I have the second scale there at 33. We'll see if we can take that out and fill me on that part, and after that I'll get down to a runner. I see a scenario. It doesn't look very clean right now. I mean, we'll see what changes in the next half hour, if anything. I see a scenario where we can break back above VWAP, but I'm not sure if that's even possible today. VWAP's right where the prior day low is, so structurally it's going to be a very significant area to see how it holds below or above now that they both aligned. The priority low and the VWAP for the full session are not in alignment. That's telling me that that level is going to be critical coming into any pushes into it. Yeah, that is very true. There's only a few block trades. You're not wrong. I didn't even think of that. The block trades haven't really pre-market, and there was only a few, a little bit post NFP. Yeah, and then yesterday there was every other day has been massive amount of block trades. Yeah, here, even near the close, massive. That's typical. Yeah, it is true. You had a lot of block trades in general throughout this whole week. I would assume if there is going to be a block trade and it happens on a reclaim of VWAP, that is a massive indication. Especially if it's like a sell block and it doesn't break down, that's a massive indication. But we'll see. We'll see. Those are just hypotheticals for now. I think it's always important as a trader to be creative in some way, in the sense that like you can kind of forecast not what should happen, but what can happen, and then kind of be prepared for those environments so that you can act when those environments do happen, those instances do occur. Like even before price was above the 520s, when we were initially trading 507, 510, I was already planning on what I wanted to see in order to add to my trade. And now I'm even thinking ahead in terms of like what will happen at the VWAP / power day low. If so, then if this and that, so to speak. Like as kind of as price is fluid, right? It's like always moving and transforming based on new current data or information, or past information if it's old. I'm just trying to project what potentially I'd like to see happen to be able to prepare for moments where things happen quickly. I'm still working on this part of mental rehearsal. And the thing is, like, every person will want to see different things too. Like, but as long as you're forecasting with what you know, what you understand, then that's all that matters. It doesn't have to be the way I'm projecting or forecasting stuff. It's everyone forecasts differently, right? Some people like to see higher lows, and that's enough of a forecast for them to consider adding to a trade or initiating a trade or moving a stop loss, whatever that means. For me, I'm already projected, like if we break that IB low volume tapers off, it's less than a 5-point probe, I'm willing to add to the trade. Or if we start to trade above into 41s, there's some big sell but no reaction, that's another trade within itself. I'm willing to add in that scenario. Things like that. So some days I have none. Like I can't really forecast too well. I'm foggy, or maybe not fully there mentally, not as sharp. You know, that does happen too. Can't always be on top of my game, unfortunately. I try. See if they fill me here. I'll drop it down to 32s this time around, just the Valerie low for the current session. See if they fill. Sorry, did I say Valerie low? Valerie high. Anticipate to participate. I like that. That rhymes. Very good. Not bad, man. Not bad. Enough trades today. I'm off the chart. Okay, cool, man. Took it off there at 30s. I don't want to risk a couple points on another fade. Could be a wrong idea, but I'd rather get down to a runner for the session. Let this play out. Again, I would like to see just a consolidation here. Oh, I scaled there. And then eventually a breakout above the prior day low. I would be targeting this area on any breakout above prior day low. The 70s through 65, kind of where we had a little bit of a consolidation yesterday. Right around here. Where is the tool? Right here. Kind of where the overnight high was, 58s through the 70 where we broke out of. So we need to hold above prior day low though, first. Above VWAP. They're trying here at the value high, which makes sense, right? The 31 is important. It was a support level from the overnight. Right here. Right here. This is a crucial area for a reclaim or for bears to hold below. Yeah, nice rejection again. Let's see, try to get the good scale. Hey, thanks, FH. How you doing, brother? At the right place? Yeah, I mean, definitely. They gave me the opportunity to come back into the zone again and scale, so definitely was a fortunate one too, in case they were gonna break this down. You are on top of being able to explain game view. If any could do what you do, trade while sharing big knowledge. I try to explain it. There, I mean, you can see at times, like when I was initially taking the entry, I stayed quiet for a second. And then after I took the trade, managed my orders, then I started to explain further and further. Like the execution comes first to me, and then I'll try to give as much context as possible. It's just hard sometimes. Some days are easier because the market doesn't move as quickly. Today, it was moving a little quickly off the lows, the value low. Today's classifier, where did ES open relative? I think I open within range, right? Open inside PDH. Strong directional move with no return to open. Is that right? Let's see. Yeah. Open drive? Yeah, I think I figured it was an open drive. Trade with the drive, do not fade, wait for... Yeah, so the retest of, say, the priority low, that VWAP area is going to be key if we even test it today. If we break the IB low on low volume with a small probe, I'd be willing to add to this trade. Otherwise, just going to hold runner. Yeah, this volume did dry up. We're gonna get some probably in the next 15 minutes. It's probably closer to 30 minutes, give or take. The euro close. Into the euro close, they probably have more. I am seeing more yes traders move to NQ recently. Oh, interesting. I haven't. Could be the momentum. I don't know. I don't really trade NQ. I did for a while, but it was not good for me. It was not good. It did more harm than good. So I stay away from that. There are instances in where I see the Nasdaq is a lot cleaner for a trade than the S&P is. It's very few times I see that, but when it does, it's very clear. For example, I think yesterday, let me go back. I think yesterday was a clear failed breakdown of the overnight low. I don't have the levels anymore. They went away. I think yesterday did the cleanest trade for a failed breakdown of the overnight low. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday because the Dow was ripping yesterday and the NQ was weaker. And the NQ put in a very clear failed breakdown of it. Yeah, it does do that skipping because it's just not as liquid. It's a lot more volatile asset for sure. I look at it when I did with the compressed DOM. It helped a lot. I mean, there's no way to look at that DOM for me without having compressed it at least four ticks or more. Trying to look at it with like no compression is insane. It just goes everywhere. Friggin'. You know. I like the 4-tick DOM, yeah, for sure. Helps a lot. Yeah, some of them saying NQ provides a better cutoff. I mean, it could be. I mean, there's been huge momentum in. I mean, here, watch, look. There's been a huge momentum in pretty much any the main sectors that move the Nasdaq. So it's more trendy, right? It's like the risk reward is probably better, more favorable. It doesn't probably retest as much because look at the year-to-date performance. Semiconductors, which is a big component of the Nasdaq, is up 60%. So it probably does provide a better, cleaner trending environment currently until it doesn't. But yeah, I can see why. Is it you? Maybe they can get away with like a sub 15, sub 20 point stop loss on the NQ, which is rare. But if this is if it's trending, you can probably get away with that right now. NQ and RTY, gotcha. Super slow. It is super slow. There can be a lot of slippage, especially if you're trading it overnight. You can get the slippage is nasty if it flushes a zone and yeah. Yes, I'd rather see price break above PDL, which is where VWAP sits at currently. That shows more conviction in the auction for the bulls than holding simply off the value high. A lot of sellers in limit there. I mean, they control the auction, right? It's still below VWAP. We're not really holding the 20s. Value is tapering off at the 15s, which is not a bad sign. So yeah, there's the momentum in those sectors that really helped the NQ. It's the week over week performance. Where the chippies. Refresh this. Chips are, where is it? The hell, am I missing something? Oh, right there. Oh, they're only down quarter. What's really down is drones. Oh. Interesting. Healthcare, energy, month over month, cybersecurity. Where's cybersecurity this week? Oh, down a quarter. Okay. Hey, well, I'm glad that you're open-minded to listening. I think that's important, right? I hope that what I'm sharing is important, is reaffirming maybe what you already know or understand in a different light, maybe a different way of explaining something you maybe already knew or used. I think this is why being in a good environment for trading with other people that trade it helps a lot. Not only the learning curve, but the support, the ability to not tilt. Sometimes just being in the right environment helps aid development in an indirect way, right? I may not be telling you what to do. I'm not telling anyone what to do here. But just being in the right environment with the right principles and seeing someone else execute or share or talk, it's like osmosis, right? It just like kind of builds off of that, and you kind of indirectly get value from that, which is great. I'm glad. I think it was you yesterday. You asked about the short thesis. And I was wrong, right? And I was fine with being wrong. And I had a plan, I liked the idea. I was wrong, got stopped out, didn't trade again for the rest of the day. And that was it, you know? You had good questions about the trade, the higher time frame analysis and whatnot. You know, maybe if I had more experience working with you or alongside you or whatever, maybe I would have seen it from a different angle and cut the trade sooner. I don't know. You know, I'm open. But yeah. Work stuff has great people, and hey, thanks FH, appreciate it. Exactly, and they are impossible to find out there. Waiting through 3 years of traders screaming and then found you. Screaming, that's funny. You know, different people have different preferences. I don't really watch other traders too much. I've seen a few channels, but it's very brief. I just kind of see this. I only go in there to see the layout of the stream, really. But there you go. Enjoy chatting here. Makes me more patient. 100%. Like the chatting part and just kind of being distracted. I know that sounds terrible to say, right? Like the fact that you're getting distracted from trading. But it's it helps be more patient and just pass the time, because in many instances I can say I've taken boredom trades in the past that result in very bad behaviors. It's like a slippery slope, right? Taking boredom trades and you're like, oh, I'll just make it back. Like that doesn't work. You know, like hitting the button because you're bored is not a trade. And then trying to make it back because you were bored and took a loss is not a trade. Eliminating that variable from your trading helps a lot. So what I ended up doing was, and before live streaming and stuff, I was just working on projects with AI and stuff. So I would just kind of kill the time doing that. But it is helpful to having a chat and an environment where you can chat up with other traders in the meantime while you kind of wait for your setup, or you wait for things to kind of maybe get a little clearer, cleaner. Keep streaming, Mr. John. Okay. By request by Mr. John. Was it Phaser? Phaser? Sorry if I'm not saying that right. Will do. Certainly. I'll be here if you guys keep showing up, you know, just chatting it up. I think the most important thing for me is the engagement. Otherwise, it just seems like I'm just here sitting here in front of a camera judging myself on how I'm not talking enough, or how, I don't know, like being critical of myself because I can see the camera right there. And it's weird. And if there's no if there's no chatting and it's just like a one-way stream, it's like almost like pointless. Like, why am I doing this? It's like, it's not even, there's no benefit. So I appreciate everyone who chats. It helps. It helps. Yeah, thinking it through. And even then, like I said, once it broke above, you know, I said, well, now if it holds from above, it's definitely a good long. I unfortunately did not take the retest of that area later in the day after it broke back above the 74s. But it was a good trade. It didn't hit 74, actually only hit 78 around here. So I don't know if I would even have taken it either. Because I went to my son's ceremony. He had an award ceremony. But once it broke, I said, well, now if it holds from above, it's a good long, right? I'm willing to be malleable on the trade as long as it shows me with conviction that it wants to hold a structural area on the other end of the auction. Question is, like, is it going to come back enough for me to want to enter, be able to enter? Sometimes it doesn't, and I just don't take the trade. I'd rather do that than try to chase it. Sometimes chasing works. You know, yesterday, if you chased it after the retest of 78, it would have worked out. I don't know if that's the case every time, but yeah. Well, that is a very good way to structure the question. Not I said yesterday when I was wrong, when I got stopped out, let's just say, right? I was wrong in my um idea. And not really in the execution, because I was trading what I thought was appropriate at the time. So, yes, it was wrong in the sense that my plan was incorrect. The trade was not, I don't think, based on what I thought was appropriate. So, I mean, yes and no. So, either way, I was wrong. But yeah, what's up, Pius? Welcome back, man. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a good question though. The way you phrased it, I can see, I can say yes and no. Like, yes, I did follow my plan, but yes, also the plan was incorrect. Excuse me. Maybe this right here was hammy. You know, even though we're selling off, they keep bidding value names. Even yesterday, that was kind of the reason we were holding up. Walmart, Procter and Gamble, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Merck, UNH, United Healthcare. Banks are a little green, not much. They're kind of mixed. But you have some consumer staple rotation here. McDonald's also. A pretty interesting rotation under the hood. They're selling off chips. Pretty much software and chips are getting sold off. And then, but they're bidding all the value. So consumer staple, some healthcare, some industrials, not much, mostly consumer staple. Which I think that has to do with the fact that I'm assuming that has to do with the NFP report. Probably showed some sort of balanced or strong jobs report, which is why they held on to buying the consumer staples. Let's take a look and see if that's true. I'm not sure what the report was. I didn't look at it. Let's see, Google NFP report. Scalping today? No, not really. I took a long earlier on a failed breakdown. I scaled, added. I'm just down to a runner now. Latest NFP revealed added 85,000 y'all, making a modest slowdown. Upwardly revised in April. Is this the most recent one? Oh yeah. 4.3. This is an old report. It's not. The fuck? Not in February. Today's June. Nice B profile so far, yeah. And it makes, I mean, now that you're saying it, that makes sense that would be, we could just end up with the B profile today. You know, distribution of yesterday's squeeze of that inventory plus whatever happened on Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, forming a B profile right here is probably not a good sign. But yeah, it is a B profile for the current session. You have notable excess at the high. developing into a double profile, like a capital B. I don't know. If they did that, I would be impressed. That would take some effort. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, certainly. Like that, to make that, it'd be quite the case. Yeah, I don't know how likely that. I mean, if it does, that would be some shit. But yeah, because like that would be another value up here, and that would need to happen within the next hour, I would say, at least, going into New York lunch, so that there's enough volume to fill for the rest of the day up here near the open. It's possible if there's news and shit, you know, kind of hard to say with lack of something like that. And this would be the midpoint. But I don't know. Right now it seems unlikely. But things do change on a dime sometimes with news. No, I'll hold it till it stops me out, which is 500. I want to see what happens with the IB first before I consider where am I going to cut the runner. Like if we break the IB, we continue lower, then I'll cut it or get stopped out. For now, like I usually don't like to adjust the stop loss until the IB is probed. So I wait till the IB is probed first. Because sometimes the thing about runners is like sometimes things run out of nowhere and the runner pays, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it gets stopped out. I don't like moving it to break even. I do it time to time depending on what happened with the IB. We spend time volume now. The context short, but buyers can reload. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that's interesting now that there's a B profile formed with a little bit of excess just below the point of control from May 24, I think it was. There is a case in which with the B profile like this, because usually this is just indicative of long liquidation, right? Long liquidation does not normally create a further liquidation point. So the odds of this B profile extending lower, it can happen, but as this is fully developed now with a point of control at 24 and the value clearly developed here between what 15 through, let's just say 28, what I'd like to see is a probe below and then a reclaim, and then I'll get long and then kind of work the auction one more time for the day and then call it. We'll see. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I think most of the move maybe has already happened for now. There could be a slight continuation for another pro below. Because again, the IB has at some point will break. If I mean, it doesn't have to break, but if it does, I look for a failed move away from it. We are consolidating under the prior support from this overnight session here. And this is I think this is the last week's point of control. So we're holding below it, but we're also holding value low. Part of the reason I'm hesitant on assuming we go lower is only because the expected move down is right here at 520s. Last week the expected move was 590s, and we didn't go too much past that. Yes, last week, right here. This is right here. The 590s was the expected move, right here. We went past it, but we ended up closing right at the expected move. This was the close. We literally teetered above and below it all day, which is possible it could happen today. Expected move is 520, so we might just probe above, below, and then end up closing at 20s on the day. Who knows? Because the expected move is yeah, that 520. So we could probe below it to 500 to come back again. Boom, something like this rest of the day. And that would align with the B profile. No, it's from the options chain. It's a script that I run. I posted on X. But it's a script that I pull based on the options chain. The at the money put and call gives you that expected move for the week. So if you go to the weekly, so if you go to Friday, so at the end of the day, if you go to at the end of the day today, near the close, or you can do it Monday open too. You look at the at the money options chain for the SPX, and that gives you the expected move up and down. It is not perfect. Like it's not a holy grail or anything. It's just what the market makers or the dealers are pricing in for the expected move for the week. And they'll try to dampen like above and below to kind of keep price suppressed within it. They'll try to keep it contained within that area. Where is... We do another refresh of the gamma levels. At this point, we have a long consolidation base. See what they do. Manticue charges, but I find that their AI is free. You can try asking AI to provide a dealer. Oh, no way. That's funny little hack. Ugh. Ugh. What do you think if you're in big profit and the market is going below? Maybe a lot of people get greedy. What do you mean by that? Like it continues to sell, or people start to buy? I don't know what you're. I don't understand the context. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, put walls are still there, but low price. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's. We'll see. The volume will tell if that happens. I haven't considered that. Possible. That's my. Look where we came from. Getting closer, but we'll still need to hold 75 and then RC level above. Yeah. I mean, if we probe here and then we have to really hold like 515, give or take. See if I can. Wonder if I do. Time is it? It's 8:15. We're going into Euro close here. Hey, well, welcome. Thanks for tuning me in. Follow me on X. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream, sir. What brings you in today? Here's the IB low break. Let's see if it breaks. And the volume's still pretty anemic. I don't know if it's gonna break or not. I'd like to see a break again. Probe below, and then I'll add to the trade. I won't add in any half size. I just add a couple lots. I'm not gonna add too much. So yeah, low volume, low probe. AC. Yeah, look, my internet went out and then it came back. What the hell? That was so random. I went to go check the box and it's fine. Often the market gathers volume and spends time before important levels starts to break through because a lot of effort has been. Thank you. See it too. Yeah, that's not true. That's true. Yeah, so far there's been a lot of effort trying to hold this area, so not wrong. My internet went away and came back. That's so random. Crazy outside. Ugh. You trade only, yeah. Yeah, pretty much only, yes. I don't trade anything else. What about you, Matt? What do you guys trade? NQ, okay. NQ. Yeah, I mean, honestly, NQ is a tough one for me. I don't know, man. Like, there's times where it's really clean, and there's times where it's just super messy for me. Just depends. HG, what's that? What's HG? Valid tabulation by copper? Oh, interesting. Why copper? Very interesting. Previously traded, okay, a US pair. What's FCFTs? Okay. When I just approached trading, lost a lot. Now only ES and CL. Nice. Is CL because of the recent momentum, or just you've always traded CL? It's important to tech and KI. Cool. Here's the probe of the IB. Plus NQ. Ah, very good. So HG is the futures ticker. Here's the break. It broke by a tick. Trump questions stock sell-off after stronger than expected report. Are you serious? There's no way. Funny. There's no way. Let me see if that's true. Trump questions job sell-off. That makes no sense. Yeah, they're probing below. Let's see. I'll give it some momentum before I initiate anything, but I don't think it's trying to hold, but we'll see. President Trump ready question. Hi. I didn't want to wake you up. I think you know why. Huh? Yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah? Oh. Oh, there's a stop loss right there. It took my trail. There you go. They trailed me out. If they reclaim here, I'll bid back. A couple lots only though. Yeah, look at they're doing it. Wow, what a bunch of crooks. Did I just feel too high? I think I feel too high. I might have just ripped myself off. We'll see. But I'll keep it where that area is and then view up. I think I just got enticed by some bullshit. We'll see. Anyway, that'll be the only ad trade I'll do here. Just 2 lots. I might have jumped the gun on that acceptance above. Probably was just a random short squeeze. Or shorts covering. Could be a bounce on shorts covering. as well. It's the failed breakdown of the IB low. I've been saying the same thing for a few hours now, but a failed breakdown of the IB low, but only on small size, not really willing to take it full size. Like a third or a quarter of the original size. It didn't hold though. It immediately tapped into the IB and rejected. It says probably continuation lower is what it's saying. So, yeah. Jumps away 500 round number. It does do that, especially the SPX, the index itself. Market maker compress the volatility. Oh, shoot. There's another. Oh shit, I can hold the IB. IB is 505, give or take. Yeah, a couple ticks. Yeah, it's holding lower. It's not holding the IB. It's holding below it. Or at it, whatever. At below, but not really above. And then the volume is pretty consistent to the downside. I don't know. It's pretty balanced action. We'll see if it holds or not. Not really what I'd like to see. for a reversal at least, you know. It looks more like continuation than anything. Well, there's Euro. Euro closes right now. See if it gets this little volume injection right now in the next few minutes. Yeah, me too. Went out for a little bit. I don't know what happened. Even in you. Holy so you can see the buy delta comes in and there. They absorb it all. Yeah, if they accumulate all those passive sellers that are absorbing this orders, I mean, it's a matter of time whether either it just makes it 50-50. I wouldn't say it's like a higher conviction trade at all. You know, Delta's saying that above IB, where the IB is, they're absorbing all the buyers trying to reclaim. You can see the column from 506 to 509. There's positive delta, meaning that buyers are buying, market buying into that area, but sellers are passively absorbing it. The market buying. They're not hitting the offer aggressively. They're just passively absorbing all the market buying because there's effort to buy above, but no reward, right? Price is not going higher on those market buy orders. So they're sustaining or defending the lows. So at some point, bulls can capitulate and we'll hit another leg lower. Welcome to graduation. Good morning. For now, if you have it holds for sure, you know. I think as we're trading for now 505, I think it's going short. Yeah, I mean, they have to push above the IB and then also push above the 515, which is a prior value area high from May 22nd, I think. What is it ever right here? Yeah, May 22nd. It has to push past that 10-point spread, right? If it doesn't, then in the immediate term, it's weakness, right? Or move down into what, like 470s is the next zone down that I have. It makes fun trade with your charts. Or what do you mean? I don't understand the comment. Oh, stop down. There we go. Let's see what's below all this. I like your workspace. Oh, okay. Cool, man. Thanks. All right, that ends it for me today. I'm gonna wrap it. The initial push was on much bigger volume. The RC after the initial push on it. What? The initial push below VWAP was on much bigger volume. The initial, I mean, there was an impulse here, you know, where the 20s were. Looks like someone did come in there, try to push it, did break. There's like a whipsaw action here. Overall, I mean, I would say volume, I don't have the relative volume, but what I can say is that there was definitely absorption below the IB. I'm sorry, absorption back into the IB. Right here from the, you can see the delta print, right? From 506 to 508, 509. There's positive delta, no initial, with no reward up there. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Be the end of it for now. The levels below, I don't know if we tap into it, but there's 70 below that. Like mid 70s is the next level down. And then below that, we have what, 440s, which is the value high area from a few weeks ago. Somewhere along those lines. Again, the absorption looks like a grind lower. Value. Yeah, grind lower to find value. We'll see what they find it. I would assume 70s initially, but then I don't know if it's enough to hold. But 470s is the area I have. And then below that, it's 440s. But have a good weekend, everyone. See you guys.